This is Dennis Dermody from Paper Magazine. I'm doing the update on DVDs. And over the weekend I watched, the Lionsgate is putting out one of 8 films to die for, and there's 7 of them being released. One's in the theaters now, and they're actually really good. This one's called The Grave Dancers, and it's by a director who did a movie called The Convent, which is fabulous. It was about nun zombies with Adrienne Barbeau as a demon slayer with a big gun, and she's fabulous in it. But it's a really good movie, and this is the first movie he's done in a while. And it's a bunch of kids who go to a cemetery for their friend's death and dance on graves, and it's a huge mistake because they get haunted later on. And it stars Dominic Purcell, who's in Prison Break, and it's really, really terrific. It's a lot of fun, and the special effects are pretty good for a low budget. They're really wild. It's sort of like Evil Dead meets The Frighteners, but it's wonderful. It's kind of great. This one is fabulous. It's called The Hamiltons. And it's about a kid who's doing a video diary for his school project about his family. His parents have died, and he lives with 2 brothers and a sister. And he seems to have a normal life, except that the family are killers, and they kidnap women on the highway and have them chained in the basement. So he lives with a bunch of serial killers, and it's really got a twist at the end that's wonderful. But it's cool because it's about this sort of punky kid, you know, trying to come to grips with his sort of psychotic family, and it's wonderful. The Hamiltons, that's really good. This is my other fave. It's called Unrest. And it's about a girl who's working in she's a medical student who has to do all these autopsies. And she starts getting this weird sensation that there's something wrong with the corpse that she's dissecting. And is she right? This woman had unearthed some sort of Mayan ruins, and her body is haunted, and anybody that cuts into her is in for a lot of shit. So it's so creepy. And it gets really good at the end when she has to jump into this entire vat of body parts to get, it really gets bizarre. It's quite good. This one isn't so good. It's called Penny Dreadful, and it stars Rachel Miner as this girl who's phobic about cars. And her shrink, Mimi Rogers, decides to take her on a car trip to get her out of her fears, and they run into a psychotic hitchhiker, of course. But there's parts of it that are good, but she gets on your nerves after a while. Wicked Little Things isn't bad either. It's about a mother who's widowed and her 2 daughters who move to this cabin out in the woods. And it's haunted, the woods are haunted by these little miner children that were trapped in a mine years ago, and they're like zombies. So they come out every night looking for flesh, and that's kind of creepy. And it's really atmospheric. It's very dark, and there's a lot of shadowy shots of kids running through the woods, but it's really kind of good. The Dark Ride stars the girl from, who's in this one now? This is the one about the kids that go to an amusement park in Asbury Park, like a horror ride. And there's a killer's escaped from a mental institution. He's in the ride, and it's all right. It's, you know, it's Jamie Lee Sigler who's on The Sopranos. She's in it. It's not bad, but it's not the best. And this one's, I say for last because it's great. It's called Reincarnation, and it's by Takashi Shimizu, who did the Grudge movies. And it's really creepy, about a director who's making a movie based on a true crime about this man who went to a hotel and killed 11 people, like in the 50s. Well, unfortunately, by making the movie, he's dredged up all the very unrestful spirits in the hotel. And it gets really creepy. There's some wonderful moments in it. And there's a nice little twist at the end that the more you think about it, the better it is. But it's kind of wonderful. But they're all really fun, and you should check them out. March 27th on Lionsgate DVD.